Hey people, in that last movie I was reading here from these maxims of cuff 'em in and pitch a top, said to be almost as old as an armor pallet. Starts with this R when 9 comes. And you know, when 9 comes, that's also, a cat has 9 lives. When 9 comes, that's the last one. And I read this line 1 and 2 and parts of 3 in that last movie. And I'm going to read this 3 in here. But I was reading on down in 4, and it runs out in this free copy, so I went to the other copy I got. It doesn't read as good. It's not a real pretty copy. But I read down here, and I seen it says, "For thou hast become the steward of the goods of God." And so to become the steward of the goods of God is income receptionator. Income receptionator. This is the recept. This is the sept here. And this is that the SH that they ignore all the time, and the U that sometimes they'll put up there. The SHUN, the receptionator. And so this SH is like the TION in shun, and T meaning writings, and that's why this is a school. It's the SH in school. And scholar, it's your diploma. And go to another letter up, it's the K, the X, the cats, and the cat's purring come receptionator. The cat's purring come receptionator. The steward of the gods. Ancient English wrote this. I tell you, they're confused on some of the letter meanings. They have this word spelt with 3 T's here. T. But this is the L here. This is on, and RLTD. RLDT. Either way, these can switch up. But it's unwrote, and performed the command or played the role, unwrote it. Wrote is Irish for a star. Played the hell out of that part. And this other word here, there's a lot more of them that are A. So this comes a lot, but they give each 3 an A, and they skip this one. This is the K, the AR. If thou hast become a rock. This represents the cupboard handle. It's kind of like the paintbrush handle. But I believe it's just a AV, which is, 2 of the same letters, the WAT, but it's just the AW, the AV. And this first letter following be an M, so, this would be a come. And washed, WALSH, wash, come. If thou hast become, Welsh, come, you became Welsh. And you'll see this become come up often under the KM, but they won't hint off to that's where they're getting it from. And you see that again here, the same letter combination, Walsh, Welsh, or the great. That's just more proof that ancient English wrote this, and the Welsh wrote it. Saw theirself as great. Here it's changed to has become, but it's the Welsh. And this K is the same thing in Hebrew when they put it on the end of a word. They'll always just say it means your, your God. And it's usually reading with the next word. And so to receive the blood of your brother from your hand, is Oachi. Oachi, Chachi, your brother, he come addicted, the blood of your brother from your hand. So the K isn't necessarily your, but it's in that direction, toward your direction to come. But we're going to see it come up in this 4th line, and it's going to finish up all these words. You see how they give it thou, thy, thou, and they didn't get it in here. So that's going to give up a bunch of information. So when you place the right letter combinations for the pictures, it takes most of this unga boonga out, and it turns it into Old English, which only makes sense that the people were speaking English back then. the English speakers have ruled the world ever since. I tell you that, these determinatives, they often sit by their group of letters. You see here for the knife, just the knife alone is the FEN or the FNT or the FND or the KND. But these are the three letters that this represents. And they'll often be grouped up before it or after, and it's part of a word. And you see it here, here's the knife, the FND, and here's the letters split out in a couple words, the FN, and then the D or the T follows it. And so all these that they call determinatives, always search and trying to piece words together to figure out how they fit best, and they fit every time. So just because they say that there's a symbol that represents some letters, it doesn't mean that they're always correct. Like you see here on the ARI, they often give this the ARI, ORI, and here it is again, the ARI, but it doesn't mean this is the ARI. This could be the ON, but it's usually correct. Like here, the ST is coming from this ST, and this, the AMIA, is coming from here, the MIA or the AI, and this AUT that's here come from this UT. And the NEFR, often followed by the FR. And you see the N came before it, NFR. And you'll see they all start with this R, or after the word God, R. R, skaggin' caters. And R, running come.
R can be used for a multitude of different purposes. When somebody says hi to you on the street, you say R. When you eat a particularly delicious muffin, you say R. If you ever need to point to the color of something, you say R. And the people should know what they're talking about.
So that last movie ended with R, skaggin' caters, Sussex a test, enter. R skaggin', the ones that plow to cater, to eat. And them, and Sussex, to sustain. Them Sussex, is it what they planted? And them Sussex a test. To go test and see if it's time. A test to enter in that time. And so he's like a playwright, and he's setting the set. And the set enter, the set enter. A running comes essay on cursing Kassassin, and says Llama Center, SZLMMAS, enter, and says Llama Center. Llama is the god of the zodiac. A running comes essay angers. This is a NQ or a NG. This could be angers, anchors, on curse, on cursing, but none of it's good. But it's also, the anchor shank, the anchor SHANK, the anchor shank, that's a onk, the anchor shanks assin. And so the Kassassin, is a kiss ass and thy son, and it's a, an assassin. You have your assassins and your kiss assins. A running comes essay on cursing Kassassin, says Llama Center. And so sent her, that might not be essay, that might be sassy, S-A-S, S-A-S-Y. A rentage is Fapex referlet. And a rentage is, the rentage or harvest. The time of harvest is rentage. And you find this in just a couple of old books, usually old Greek to English dictionaries. And so it was a English word used to describe this Greek word, but you won't find it come up anywhere. They're trying to erase this word. But the wren is a name, and tigs, is to poking names. But it's also, that string that ties the price tag on something. The tig, the toe tag, or the harvester, or to poke at. You know, the rentigs, the names they call you at your roast. And so a rentage is, is a name tag. It's a time and a place, like a vintage is the time and the place of that wine. And a rentage, is the name tag to that time and place. And the rentage is FPX. FPX is, straight on the course. The FPX, how the things rolled out, what brought you here. And then a referral. This is a flag furled up, and it's just a PHR, and a refer and let, referral it. And a rentage is FPX referral it, to furl, to roll out, that course. So give it to me straight, direct it straight, his course. What exactly are you doing here? And it's a rentage. It's the time of harvest. FPX, to be the reason why you're seeing me. Referral it. I was referred to come rentage. And the fun fendin, FNDDN. The fun fendin skin, the SKN. Fun fendin skin stop, STP, stopping. The fun of defending your skin is stopping. He's just trying to lay out that the Reaper's coming to see him. The fun fendanskin stepping. The fun fending skin stopping was fact. WS, FHT. And was fact. And shook. SHUK. And shook. Resist. RISIST. Resist. And shook resist. And fun fending skin stopping was fact. And shooken resist. Prairie. Belonging there to, the place belonging to prairie. Prairie RN, the ARIN, the prairie RN. Are enough in when been for. This is the BUNBN, but it's, the B is in NWN, in when. Are enough in when, in been for. That's a word we use in the country, It's a banner, when it's broken, it's no longer useful. It had its day, it's a banner, or you bend for. When somebody got you in their sights, you bend for. You see it here, when a what gets its tail bent, it's a bender. Old wore out tool. Unuseful anymore. And are enough in when bend for. Force is scuppin'. Force is an SKPUN, scuppin'. Scuppin' is a grape they use for wine. And the force is scuffing its was testing. The force is scuffing its was testing. Cockamamie caught what let love occur. Faving to nary. And faving to nary. Faving to none. And sexin. They'll usually say this one symbol here is the sexin, SEXEN. And you can see the letters on both sides of it here, the S and the N. This makes me think they're mistaken and they're adding a letter to it, and it's not supposed to have the S and the end, either the S or the N on the end. And if we read it as just the EXN, that becomes the sexin, the sex, and the sexy, and the two N's, the N underneath make it followed by a I, so it's the sexy, SEXENITY, the sexy nighty, to maketh appeal to thee, the sexy nighty, and then AS and K touching his mouth, as KITN, and sexy nighty as kitten, it says, EXES. as Kitnik says. Sexy nighty as kitten it says. Ask it, A-S-K-I-T. The sexy nighty to ask it nexus. A nexus is a linkage, two or more things. The nexus connects us, where that comes from. So look at it all again together. A essay just means, that which is. Essay, that one, the one that. And a running comes essay, that one which is. It's fixing to describe the one that was come running. And the one that was come running was that one that which was uncursing, kiss assing. And so kiss assing and sucking dick, these are my old naval terms, for the guy that's always in the deck office ratting everybody out. So a running comes essay, uncursing, kiss assing. And says Llama Center. And so says Llama Center is, SZL sizzle, hot mama center. And the hot mama center is the sun. Oh, please, God, sizzle mama center. And a rentages for pecs referlet. Time of harvest for pecs referlet. And so the F can be read, it's the Q. It could be the K or the F. This could be read Ken or Fen. And Ken Fen dance. Ken Fendin skin stopping. Can we stop the war, stop the fighting, the Fendin skin stopping? And was fucked suck. You're screwed. Was fucked fact, F-C-H-T. Was fact suck resist. For airy are in. For airy are in. For area in. For area are in. Belonging there to. For area in. And fab and F-B-U-N. Fab and creating. And fab and ben for force. Ask upon. A-S-S-K-P-U-N. The force ask upon. The nest was testing cockamamie caught. And you see this is the same word they'll give for the cat here. The cockamamie is of thy person to do. The cockamame. He is belonging to the seed. In the nest it's testing the cockamamie. The cockamamie caught. What let love occur? The faving the tongue, like in the blowjob. On sexy nighty, ask it in, it says. On sexy nighty, asking it says. So you see in all this ancient tomb art, the women are always lighter with these Asian eyes. It makes me think, S.A. was she. And she was the queen of an Asian country. And she come running essay, uncursing, kiss assin'. And so uncursing the kiss assin', it's also the Asian hot mama's center. Rentages, and the time has come for pecs furlet to roll it out. The confending skins stopping. Can we stop the war? Was fact shook resist. He dealeth in thy affairs. Was fuck shuck. Was fuck shucker resist. For area on. Fighting for the place belonging thereto. For area on. Favin been for forces ask upon. The nest its test. To see if we can get along in the nest. Cockamamie. What a crazy idea. A cock in the cat. Cockamamie caught. What let love occur? A faving the tongue, the T-U-N-J. T-U-N-G, the tongue. Unsexy nighty. ask it, and it says. So this is probably just his way of writing about East India Shipping Company, the sacred, and their union with the tongue, meaning to lift, to seize, to gather, to hold. That's where we get our word tongs today. You know, the East India Company making a union with the tongue in her sexy nightie. And he might be talking about how much he added to his poetry when learning the language. And I'll catch some more of these words as I edit and watch it back. Like this one here, you know, dealeth in thy affairs in thee is a fact checker. The fact checkers dealeth in thy affairs in thee. I don't catch these till I go back and watch it, because I trained myself not to see what's down here when I was learning the Hebrew. And so you know this is written by white guys, because black guys don't eat pussy. And that's what the entire Bible and this Book of the Dead's all about. So in that last movie, I run into this symbol here, and I was telling you this reads as an NQROR, anchor. And you see it here, it's the sailors. And it's the anchor in it, anchor, N-I-T, anchor in it as in 10, you know, T-I-N, and anchor it as 10 and then another N, and as 10 in Q-R, and then U, the crew. Anchor it as 10 in crew, the sailors. So I was looking in here, I seen something that made me go back and look at the Greek. And so I'll read this in the next movie and look at this Greek and figure out why they say nay means yes and we means no. And hit this Hebrew some and fill in some stuff that I've learned since I've been reading in that Egyptian. I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.